Hello everyone and welcome to Valamore Things. Feel free to follow me to see more of my content. Thank you and I hope you'll enjoy the video. Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we are playing Satoru Ninjas. So as you may already know, someone else already tried to brew with Satoru and Ninjas. I also brewed with Ninjas in the past, so why not taking a shot at this? Basically, the deck revolves around Satoru, which makes you draw a card if a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, and you didn't pay its cost. So, whenever you play cards like Ornithopter and Grief while you scam it, or just while you play it with Evoke rather than scam it, you have to draw a card. Or even when you have Satoru on the battlefield and maybe we ninjutsu an Ornithopter, we draw a card because when we ninjutsu, we put a card on the battlefield without paying its mana cost. So that triggers Satoru. So basically we want to play a tempo-like style of play, so generate value off of Satoru and an early ninjutsu trigger with Mono-Circuit Hacker or Ingenious Infiltrator, that they will both draw us one card when we ninjutsu them. To enable ninjutsu, we play a full playset of Ornithopter that also draw us a card off of Satoru, and Changeling Outcast. I made a mistake in brewing this because Changeling Outcast, when you have Changeling Outcast on the battlefield and you go Orcish Bowmasters, basically you don't MS because Outcast is an orc, so you just give +1/+1 to the Outcast, and I didn't know about that. It happened once and it almost costed me the game, so I will probably change this in the future, but let's stay with me. We also play the Grief plus Not Dead After All package because it's simply too strong, made even on turn 1 or on turn 2 or 3 under Satoru. It's a super useful play, so super good play, and why not including it? We also play Essence Flux, an instant blink, and if we blink a spirit, so Changeling Outcast is a spirit, that creature will get +1/+1. Sorry. As a finisher, we play Fallen Shinobi that you may already know from my old Fairy Tribal video. So whenever this guy deals combat damage to a player, we exile the top 2 cards of their library. Until the end of turn, we may play those cards without paying their mana cost. So this is pretty powerful, and I think I will include 2 copies in my next list. Talking about the sideboard, by the way. We have Orvar, because creativity is very popular at the moment. We have Stern Dismissal, because Affinity is also very popular at the moment. So Stern Disposal can, well, dispose of constructs, and that's a good thing. Also Spell Pierce, because, you know, creativity or Amulet of Vigor or whatever you may counter. So many targets for this, so Spell Pierce just in case you need it. Sheoldred's Edict. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature, rather a token creature, rather a planeswalker. So the choice here is very important, and I picked this over Sudden Edict because I want to to be able to choose what creature my opponent has to sacrifice. And this is going to matter a lot in this league, you will see it for yourself. Extirpate. I'm picking this over Surgical Extraction because I love the split second part. Ashiok the Dreamrender is very, very strong in this meta, both against Amulet Titan or whatever trigger my opponent wants to cast to look into his library, so very, very strong. Drown in the Loch. More of the same. It's a merge between Spell Pierce and the Sheoldred Edict, so to fulfill the... We also have one in the main deck. To fulfill the tempo role, I am playing one whenever I need more than one in the deck. 2 Cursed Totem, mostly against Yagmoth. This won't affect neither Satoru or Ninjutsu, so no downside. Yeah, I forgot about the mana base. I'm playing a lot of basic lands, and I am playing a Sunken Hollow. I just want to try this out and see how it goes. So, for the list, that's all. If you aren't following me yet on YouTube, please do so, because this will help me a lot and it's free. So please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this video, guys, and I hope you'll enjoy it. See you later in the league. So this is match number 1 against Selfeisek. He was the trophy leader with MonoBlack Direct last season. We have a super strong start, and we picked, I think, both his removals. So 1 discard spell and 1 removal, and of course he top decks another discard spell. Well, I guess it's pretty common for him to draw one. So pretty nice top deck from my opponent. They still have the Orcish Bowmaster, which I don't particularly like. Fallen Shinobi might be very good here. Let's see if my opponent... They are probably going to triple block with the Bowmasters, yeah. I don't know if I should have attacked here, but probably yes. So they wasted Bowmasters. They should have Sheoldred Edict and 1 Fatal Push in hand. Oh no, sorry, I discarded the Sheoldred Edict, so they should have a Fatal Push in hand. Opponent Gas Grief, a nice top deck from my opponent. And the Fallen Shinobi is gone. So here I have Satoru, but I know they have Fatal Push, so I don't really want to play Satoru just randomly into that. And they top deck Shadow Spear, my god. So I go Satoru, so if they Fatal Push, I can Fatal Push their Grief. Let's see if they commit that mistake. Probably not, this guy is a good player. And they top deck another... Wow, that's insane. Another discard spell. They knew about my Fatal Push. So I am playing this Ornithopter just in case I can ninjutsu something on next turn. Wow. A nice top deck from my opponent. Not 1, but like 4 top decks in a row. Wow, Saga. 5 top decks in a row. Not bad. So I am doing the same thing he did to me. And of course they have a nut that after all. Wow, what a sequence from my opponent. That was insane. What do you guys think? Write to me in the comments. What do you guys think about my opponent's top decks? Wow, that was insane. I mean, I know that's his deck, but he could have like top decked, I don't know, the rack or whatever useful thing, useless thing. Wow, that was a nice sequence. Well, let's take a look at the next game. I probably played only twice against Selfeisek, and I can tell he is a very good player. So here we have to take a mulligan. And I want to try and... Okay, yeah, nothing. I wanted to go like Satoru and then scam my opponent with Grief and draw a card, but... Okay. We go Undercity Sewers, keep that on top so that we can scam my opponent right now. Okay, of course they have Bowmasters. So we go for the scam here. And they have Damnation. Okay, so opponent has no cards in hand, but neither we do. And they swing with everything. And of course we top deck a land. I don't know if I should have stayed back here, but okay, so I kept my land in my hand just for him to play his discard spell into nothing. And he took the bait, but that's not enough. I don't know, I mean, if I stay back, he took another bait. And okay, Saga, that's a problem. If I stay back, he can just swing me to death with a Grief, so... Nothing much to do. Okay, this is a nice top deck. I'm playing Otawara since he already saw that. And I have no ways of playing that. So I go Bowmasters, pinging his Bowmasters, and probably double blocking like that. But I am so behind. I mean, he has one card in hand, I have... Okay, so... And of course, the only card he has in hand is direct to close out the game. Okay, I mean... my opponent had a super great start in game 2 and an insane sequence of top decks in game 1. I felt like my deck was doing his things, maybe not too fast, no Ornithopters, no Satoru, but I mean, this was alright. It's just my opponent had the right cards at the right moment, played perfectly. So, a complete perfect game by Selfeisek. GG's. This guy is very strong, but I think he had some really good draws. Well, it's not over yet, guys. It's not over yet. This deck has some potential, and you will see it in the league. So let's go with the next match. Okay, who we gonna face now? Retak 13. No Kahira, so I am already smiling. Okay, that's scary. I'm probably getting scammed. No? They just discard? Okay, so we can potentially go like... Oh, okay, so they are playing Creativity. So I can potentially go ninjutsu here and play the Thopter and draw a bunch of cards on my next turn, like 4 cards. It's gonna be insane. Whoa, I even have Satoru. Okay, so now I can ninjutsu the Thopter and draw like 4 cards. Oh my gosh, that's insane. But as you can see, I don't really have much interaction here other than Fatal Push. So I don't know why I pushed here though. I mean, okay, I have Bowmasters, but Essence Flux, okay. So I'm gonna draw 2 cards off of the Infiltrator. Another push, which is fine. So we have both Bowmasters and Fatal Push in case they want to go, but you can see from here you can go like Creativity, but we go probably Bowmasters on the token. Yeah, okay, so opponent tried to go Creativity, but we already had too much advantage. I mean, if Creativity were to resolve, we could have been in trouble, because I don't think I have anything to get rid of the Archon once he hits the battlefield. So I have to look at the sideboard for this matchup. Let's take a look at game number 2, guys. So what did I brought in? Are you asking? So I brought out the whole Moon Circuit Hacker package, 1 Essence Flux, and I brought in, and I also brought out 1 Ingenious Infiltrator and 1 Satoru, and I brought in like all the counters and removals and Orvar, which is maybe a bit too much. I don't know. So and here I made a huge mistake here. I forgot to press. I completely forgot to press the ninjutsu ability while I was playing. And I didn't notice that my opponent put Archon into the graveyard with Commercial District. So I think I'm done here. I mean, I can try to do something with Orcish Bowmasters, but of course my opponent knows about that, and he gets faucets before attacking. But we have not that after all. So I think I pinged my opponent here. And I went directly with not dead after all, just in case. I don't know if I should have pinged the Archon. It's 1. This thing dies, it's 1. The guy draws and it's another 1. No, it wasn't enough though. Okay, so... I don't know why I sacrificed the other thing and not the Bowmasters. I think I made a huge mistake. By the way, I don't have anything to get rid of the Archon, and I needed to top deck an Edict, which wasn't the case. And even if I were to top deck an Edict, I was at 3, opponent plays Lightning Bolts and many Dwarf Mines, so I have nothing in hand, and this game was lost. I don't know, maybe I misplayed a bit. I should have mulliganed harder, to find like Orvar or whatever. I didn't know about Persist though. Well, let's take a look at the final match. Sorry, the final game, guys. Game 3. These games are so fast, but okay. So we have Scam turn 1 and an Edict. I think we can win this. Depends on what my opponent has in hand. So what does my opponent has in hand? Let's take a look. So I discarded a Bolt and a False Seeds, and the opponent still has Persisted Transmogrify, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and of course they top deck a Fatal Push with a fetch land. So yep, we go Satoru, and the opponent they surely have top decked a removal. Okay, they keep that card on top. Fatal Push, okay, another top deck, nice. So here I don't have any mana to do anything. They can just go Fable. So if they have a land, they can just go Transmogrify and win the game. I mean, I can push, but I don't know. I really need like an Ornithopter now. My start was so good, but you see, if I don't put any pressure on my opponents, because they can just, you see, top deck 2 Fatal Push in a row, not much I can do. Also, this is not dead after all, it's really, really annoying. And ninjas, if you don't have an enabler, like we play 8 enablers, but you know, they are just useless, overpriced creatures. Okay, so I think I should go Edict and not Drown in the Loch. Maybe Edict was best and keep Drown in the Loch as a counter. I don't know. Was that the right moment? Because now I don't really have anything. I think I played this poorly. Yeah, they go creativity, and I knew about that. I played this extremely poorly. I don't know why I made this huge. Okay, so I am stopping the video for a second. So it's clear that I have lost this game. Okay, I clearly have lost this game. Why did I play that Drown in the Loch so randomly? I should have just kept it in hand and throw it on the creativity at the right time. And maybe after that I could have played Sheoldred's Edict. I mean, okay, I was already a lot behind in this game. Like really a lot behind, but I did everything I could to lose this game. I played it so badly. I think I was tilted because of Fatal Push and another Fatal Push, completely top decked after I went like Grief Scam on turn 1, getting rid of Bolt and False Seeds. So I think I was tilted. I played this league like a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, so I cannot really remember because I play a lot, so I don't especially remember this league. I don't know. What do you guys think? What was the right option here? I don't really know. Maybe I should have kept Drown in the Loch and even Fatal Push. Maybe I shouldn't have played Fatal Push that way. I don't know. That was stupid by me. And that Drown in the Loch, sorcery speed, like completely useless. I don't think that was a misclick. Maybe I was distracted by a phone call. I cannot really remember, but that was poor. Okay, so we are 0-2 in this league, which is pretty annoying because I think this deck has some potential, but it's not really shining at the moment. Let's see if we can make a comeback, guys. At least a 3-2. That would have been nice. 0-2 is annoying, but here we are for game 3. Hopefully we can... We are starting, by the way. Hopefully we can do something. So I have a turn 1 Scam with only 1 blue land. So if I am keeping this. Opponent is playing Burn. Burn. So opponent is now left with Sunken Canyon, a Rift Bolt, 2 Skewer the Critics and 1 unknown card. Luckily I top decked, so I can go Moon-Circuit Hacker, draw a card. I want him to, you know, fire everything to my face, if they can. So, okay, they have 1 Skewer the Critics in hand only. I think we can win this, guys. So I can go Satoru, Grief on the Grief, no scamming, just drawing a card off of Satoru, and swinging with the Hacker. Opponent has no cards in hand, so I can get rid of like this island easily. And on next turn, oh, opponent conceded, yeah. Because on next turn I could have drawn like swing, get back Moon-Circuit Hacker, go Ingenious Infiltrator, Satoru trigger, damage, 2 triggers for Ingenious Infiltrator and Satoru damage. So 4 cards in a turn. My opponent only 1 and a Sunbaked Canyon, so that would have been GG. My opponent was wise enough to concede. Okay guys, we're back on track. Let's check out game 2. By the way, I really love the NINJAS playstyle, and I had to mulligan to 5 this game, but if my opponent doesn't have a removal, we might have a great game. Because you never know what's about to come out after you ninjutsu something. Okay, and we got a land off of the Goblin Guide and another land we are floating. I noticed that this deck floats a lot. So I go Changeling Outcast, and just in case I went Grief, has a discard spell, and I saw the Boros Charm. So opponent has a Skewer the Critics, no more. They have a Roiling Vortex though. We can use that to our advantage. I am drawing a card now. Ingenious Infiltrator, which is super good. I don't know why I kept it in my hand though. Oh, well, yeah, because I cannot play the 4th land, of course. Okay, Roiling Vortex. Opponent has 1 card in hand. I think we have to block here. We do. Bowmasters on top. Okay, we can play everything we have in hand. We're down to 4 and opponent has 1 card in hand. So before playing... and here, another time, I completely forgot about Ingenious Infiltrator trigger on ninjutsu, and I didn't press that. Oh my gosh. I was so distracted at this league, I don't know why. Okay, so we're pinging the Goblin Guide. And here, okay, as you can see, we didn't amass, but the Changeling Outcast gets +1/+1, which is strange. Opponent has 1 card in hand. Now I ninjutsu, and I draw like 3 cards. A Spell Pierce, which is super good. And I cannot play the Thopter because of Roiling Vortex. Opponent has a Bolt. We have a Spell Pierce, and opponent is almost dead. They are down to 5. They have 1 card in hand, and they concede. Wow, what a game. What a game. Even though I am misplaying so much, or mostly misclicking, but you get the point. We stole the game, and I am so excited. We are now 1-2 in the league, and perhaps we can go and catch that 3-2. Stay with me on the next game. On the next match, sorry, I meant match. Super good. Okay, so opponent is playing... I'm not exactly sure. Jeskai Prowess, probably. By the way, we have a great start with a Fatal Push and double Thopter. Yeah, probably Jeskai Prowess. That's gonna be tough, but we can beat those decks. Okay, we now going to Ingenious Infiltrator our way into my opponent. And on the next turn we can perhaps go Grief on Fallen Shinobi and Essence Flux and discard the 2 cards off of my opponent's hand. Okay, they swinging. probably taking all this damage. Yep. Oh, yeah. Get rid of an Underworld Bridge. Get rid of Preordain. So opponent now only has a Wounded Foothills in hand. We swing with the Infiltrator. Sorry, those noises, it's just my dog. Sorry for those strange noises. It's my dog, like it's more of a pig or a wild boar than a dog. Sorry about that. Well, by the way, what is happening here? So opponent has no cards in hand. Opponent is down to 6. They only have 1 Dragon's Rage Channeler, while we have so many things on board, and even a hidden Fallen Shinobi in my hand. Opponent probably dead here. Okay, Slick Shot Show Off. Sure. I knew about that because he plotted it, by the way. Okay, so opponent gets like they can kill my Ornithopter, trigger the Slick Shot Show Off, swing for 8 damage, and then they're dead. So easy win, guys. Let's check out game number 2. Let's take a look at the sideboard this time. I think I brought out 1 Moon Circuit Hacker because they go under Lava Spike and I don't want them to die. 1 Essence Flux. I brought in 1 Stern Dismissal, Drown in the Loch, and 2 Addicts. And I also brought out Fallen Shinobi because it's too slow in this matchup. So I have a great start with Satoru and double Topter, and my opponent just concedes. Oh my god, that was out of nowhere. I was like just starting. Can I draw a card on the replay? No, I can't, I think. Well, I was just popping off with Satoru, and I think my opponent tilted a bit because I had the Fatal Push on their Dragon's Rage Channeler turn 1. Turn 2 Satoru double Topter is an insane amount of value, and I mean, okay, that was a bit early to concede because if they had a removal on Satoru, like a bolt on next turn, okay, I mean, I had another Satoru, but it's not like I was winning the game. So in my opinion, it was a bit early to concede. So depends, Word, if you are seeing this video, tell me why you conceded, or let me know, guys, in the comments why this guy conceded so early. Okay, we are back on track, incredibly, and this league is so fast. And we are now 2-2. Let's see if we can get a positive result with Ninjas, Tribal Satoru, on the final match of the league. Please, no control decks. No control decks, please. Okay, we have the mulligan. We mulligan a lot with this deck. It's another mulligan to 5, but we have the Satoru Topter on turn 2. So it's Affinity. Wow, we are playing against my pet deck. So we start off with Sunken Hollow, which is useless, by the way. Dark Slick Shores, probably better. Opponent has a Saga. We go Satoru, they cannot rebuke, so... Okay, and Bowmasters is really strong against Affinity, so what can they do now? They can go like Synthesizer, or just playing the Saga game with Constructs, probably better for them. By the way, we can kill a bunch of Constructs with this hand. So I am swinging with Satoru, unluckily no ninjas. Opponent down to 18, and they go with the first Construct, which we instantly Fatal Push because I don't want them to snowball into Affinity things and not paying the mana cost and Springleaf Drum and get something out of their Construct. I still have much mana open here, so I can go like... I should have probably went Orcish Bowmaster, kill the Memnite, and kill the Construct in my turn. So that was another mistake from me. But I wanted probably to keep the Bowmasters for the right moment and kill everything I could. And trap them into playing the Monitor. So I hate when this happens and I am playing Affinity. I hate that. What are they doing? Nether Cyst. So that might be a problem. because opponent has both Shadow Spear and Nether Cyst, and I have so many lands. That's annoying. Another land was on top, so that's insane. Okay, so I swing with only Satoru. The problem is the Shadow Spear. I have to play the Fatal Push at the right time when they are attacking already. Monster Prototype, Companion. Okay, that's a problem, because even if I kill, you know, they are just moving Nether Cyst on the Thopter, and I draw a useless Changeling Outcast. Okay, and I lost the first game. Okay, so even though we were like ahead, I think, at a certain point, probably the top deck of both Nether Cyst and the fact that they could grab a Shadow Spear with Saga was a problem. And even if I were to get rid of the Ornithopter, I mean, Nether Cyst plus Shadow Spear on Sojourner's Companion, that's a bit too much. Okay, game number 2, guys. Well, let's take a look at the sideboard once more, and I think I brought out 1 Moon-Circuit Hacker, 2 Essence Flux, and an Edict to bring in Drown in the Loch. No, I brought in 1 Edict, yeah. I should have probably brought out the Fallen Shinobi, by the way, and I brought in Stern Dismissal also. Arkill's Recall is probably not a bad card either in my sideboard. I don't know. Okay, so opponent is popping off already, and what an insane start. Okay. So draw 1, swing with Satoru, probably playing the Ingenious Infiltrator. Even here, I should have probably waited 1 more turn, and okay, that might be a problem. Okay, that's a huge problem. I don't know if I can win this. Okay, so I can go Stern Dismissal on Construct Token. By the way, I should have waited and, you know, with Satoru on the battlefield, ninjutsu the Thopter. So, okay, I draw a card, which is good. I go Satoru, I go Scam Grief. Even though we only discard 1 of their cards, which is a Rebuke, which is super good. That thing comes back, and we draw another card off of Satoru. We have another Thopter, we draw another card. And we stay open for the Fatal Push. Opponent doesn't have anything to play, so we Fatal Push the Thopter. And we can swing and draw a bunch of cards. Wow. What an insane sequence I just did. I had nothing on the battlefield. What are all those cards? So look at the damage now. I'm drawing what 6 cards. What? Okay, I don't even have 7 cards. I don't even have enough mana to play everything. And the opponent just conceded. We are 1-1. Tied. 1-on-1. That was an insane game. Even if the opponent were to play like, I don't know, Saga probably was the most scary thing. But we could have got rid of Nether Cyst, and we could have got around like another Construct Token. So opponent really needed to draw some cards or play like Forging the Anchor and refill his hand, because we were too far ahead. We have triple Bowmasters and another Satoru, another Infiltrator, Stern Dismissal, and even Otawara. That costs 1 less because we had Satoru on the battlefield. Look at how badass this guy is, by the way. Okay, so the final game of the league. Can we grab the 3-2 or not? Sideboard stayed the same. So we keep a 7-hander. And we probably go Scam on turn 1. So the thing I noticed here is that, okay, I mean, we have both Satoru and Grief, but if we can go Grief turn 1, we should do that. But if we do so, we don't get any value out of Satoru. So this doesn't really make any sense. Opponent has a Saga. Saga is scary, but they cannot block me because they have menace. Both of them. Okay, here comes the token. So here I am playing the Addict at the right time. At the right time. They grab Lava Spur Boots. I knew about that. And I really want to top deck a removal now. Yeah, I don't really want that swamp. I am floating so much. Okay, and that is a nice top deck. That was a nice top deck. So that's how you feel when you top deck something. You feel great. And on next turn we can hard cast Grave. Opponent, by the way, is already down to 4. If they don't see another creature, they are mostly dead. And they don't see any creatures to block, and we win and we get the 3-2, guys, which is absolutely incredible. We started off down 2 games, and what a remontada. What a remontada, guys. A remontada like Barcelona. Well, not lately, but you know, they used to do that. But we're not talking about football. What a nice comeback. What a nice comeback. Let's talk about that in the wrap-up. Okay, so here we are in the wrap-up. What can I say about this deck and how it performed? So maybe 21 lands, it's a bit too much, and definitely Sunken Hollow is completely useless, and we can cut like 2 or 3 basics. I definitely want one more Undercity Sewer, and probably more utility lands like, I don't know, Castle Logtwain, Orvar, or one more fetch, probably. Let's talk about how Essence Flux performed. So Essence Flux is really like the 5th and 6th, not dead after all, but they are blue. They were mostly here because of the previous version where I used Subtlety, and probably I would cut like Bowmasters for Subtlety, and I could even cut one Moon-Circuit Hacker for another Essence Flux, and I could probably cut one land to play the second Fallen Shinobi, but I'm not sure about that. I'm still working on, as you can see here, Satoru Ninjas 2, stay tuned, and even Affinity 2, stay tuned for that, by the way. I am still working out on this list because I'm not sure whether I should play some things or not, whether I should focus more on Satoru or on scamming my opponent or on ninjas. I am not sure yet. The only thing I know that is Satoru is an extremely viable card, and even Ornithopter plus Ingenious Infiltrator is a good combination. When you have all 3 of them, like turn 1 Ornithopter, turn 2 Satoru, turn 3 Ingenious Infiltrator, ninjutsu on the Ornithopter, and you draw 1, you draw another one, you draw another one, and so many cards. But in order to be able to do so, you need 3 spells, because ninjutsu costs a lot of mana. Well, not a lot, but quite a bit of mana, so you need 3 spells. And only playing Grief, which is, by the way, sorcery, is not the best. So I could probably think of Force of Negation in the sideboard instead of Spell Pierce and, I don't know, instead of Spell Pierce and Drown in the Loch, like 3 Force of Negation probably, and Subtlety in the main deck, since we have enough blue spells to be able to play Subtlety. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you had fun and you had a blast like I did drawing so many cards with Satoru. That was exciting. Stay tuned for more and see you in the next video very soon.